For some time now on my channel, I've been talking about how manga is just dominating the entire landscape right now. American comics, especially from the big two, are getting seriously destroyed. It's not even a comparison anymore to say that, comics are on the same level as manga. No, it's a complete and utter defeat by manga. Just destroyed them completely, and people are much more interested in manga than they are in American comics, because manga is actually about telling good stories, while American comics are about pushing agendas and screaming in your face that if you don't like what they like, you're the problem, not them. Well, it turns out at least one person has come out from one comic company and admit that without manga, there ain't nothing going on over there. So let me get into this information here from Bounding into Comics. Dark Horse Comics reveals manga is 1% of our output, but represents 66% of our sales. Now, I want you to take a moment and actually listen to that very carefully, as I just said it. Manga is 1% of our output, but represents 66% of our sales. So let's say all of Dark Horse Comics represent 100%. All the comics that they put out represent 100% of the entire comic books that they put out. 99% of that is North American based comic books. 1% is manga, and that 1% is beating the hell out of the other 99%, because that 1% is making up 66% of their sales. So if you have 66% of the total 100% sales being just manga, that means that the rest of it is just barely scraping along. That's pretty much it. So you see, as I said, there's really no comparison at this point between manga and comics anymore. Let's get into this. Dark Horse Comics Senior Director of Licensing, Michael Gombos, recently revealed that the publisher's manga offerings make up 66% of the company's sales, despite being only 1% of the output. Right, during an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con as part of the Found in Translation, journalist Deb Aoki reported that Gombo relayed during the panel. This is what the guy from Dark Horse had to say. It's important to remember that manga was made for Japanese readers. Okay. At Dark Horse Comics, manga is 1% of our output, but represents 66% of our sales. Now, okay, it was made for Japanese readers. Cool, no problem with that. Same way, anime was made for Japanese viewers, even though anime comes from the manga, so that's how it translates there. Right. And there are those who will say that, okay, now manga has become popular and this and that, and comics are not getting the other. The reason you're not looking at it is why. That's the question that they don't want to answer. Why are people going to manga and anime and straying away from comic books and Western animation? The simple answer boils down to, you're not making books for people to enjoy anymore. You're making books to push messaging, and nobody wants that. All somebody wants to sit down and do is read interesting and compelling stories. Because don't get me wrong, you understand me? American-based comics have had over the years some really damn good stories that they could translate and do a lot of good with them. But no, they keep saying that, listen, we don't need you. We don't care about what you have to say. We don't like what you have to say. We have to run with you and whatever. We want to make this for our so-called new audience that doesn't exist. And even if a small percentage of them do exist, they don't buy a damn thing. rather than they make it for the actual fans who are fans of this franchise and want to enjoy it. No, you don't want to do that because, you know, everybody could go to hell. All right? That's what you choose to do. That's what you choose to do. So when you lose people for having interest in it, you have nobody to blame but yourselves. To go on in, a few other things I want to cover here. Right. Gumbo's revelation came after Embracer Group revealed that Kentaro Miura's Berserk manga was the highest selling print property in 2019, 2020, and 2020 at Dark Horse Comics. It was also the third most sold property in 2017 behind Zelda and Overwatch in 2017, and fourth most sold property in 2018 behind Zelda, Super Mario, and World of Warcraft. Okay. They go on. Not only did they reveal that Berserk was their highest selling print property, but that its rise to the top of the charts was also following a trend where the company's blacklist sales began making up a plurality of its total sales. They want to talk about the breakdown of these stuff there and all of this. Anybody who's read Berserk or what, well, the original, and it was good the way they do it after the kind of CGI thing wasn't so what. But if you read the manga, you kind of understand what they're going with it and how it's going and all of that. All right, let me get to what else I wanted to talk about here. Okay, another interesting statistic to look at given Dark Horse's revelation that manga represents 66% of their sale is the fact that Berserk Deluxe Volume 1 from Dark Horse Comics was only the 16th most sold manga title of 2022 as reported by NPD Bookscan. It was behind, and listen to these names, I'm going to read out all of them. Chainsaw Man Volume 1, Spy X Family Volume 1, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Volume 1, Chainsaw Man Volume 2, Demon Slayer Stories of Water and Flame, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0, My Hero Academia Volume 1, Chainsaw Man Volume 3, Chainsaw Man Volume 4, Spy X Family Volume 2, Chainsaw Man Volume 10, Demon Slayer Volume 2, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1, Chainsaw Man Volume 9, and Chainsaw Man Volume 11. Not one comic book, not one North American little comic book title in there at all. None. Anytime you look at this data from NPD Bookscan and these kind of places, all you ever see anything dominated by is manga. That's it. I mean, if you think about it and the way that this has been done, because the last volume of Demon Slayer sold more than every other comic book in North America combined. It was so popular they had to reprint it numerous times. That's how badly people wanted it. Because when you go through and you read Demon Slayer, the story is compelling, the action is interesting. You want to know what's going to happen next, how it's going to progress. You like the characters that they introduce. You want to know what's going to happen with them, how are things going to turn out, what's going to happen with Tanjiro and Nezuko and the demons. All these other things, you want to know what's going to happen. You don't get that feeling when it comes to comic books anymore because you pretty much know, well, this crap going to happen whether you like it or not. That's pretty much it. So it's not there. So this is why people are more interested in manga, because the stories are more compelling and the crap you're getting from comics. When looking at ICV2's Comic Hub sales data, the book took 4th place. The difference between the NPD Bookscan data and the Comic Hub data is that NPD Bookscan collects weekly point of sales data on print books from over 16,000 locations, including retailers, chains, mass merchandisers, independent bookstores, and more. NPD Bookscan covers approximately 85% of the US trade print book market. Comic Hub tracks sales at stores selling American comics around the world. Chainsaw Man Volume 1, My Hero Academia Volume 1, and Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Volume 1 were the only books to surpass Berserk Deluxe Volume 1 on the Comic Hub sales chart. Yet, Dark Horse Comics seems to recognize the value of manga, as they are not only publishing Miura's Berserk, but also publishing one's Mob Psycho 100, Sumito Uwa's Keep Your Hands Off Ezuken, and Wataru Natadani's Cat Plus Gamer, Kota Hirato's Drifters, and Hellsing, as well as deluxe hardcover editions of Yasuhiro Naito's Trigon. So yeah, the Dark Horse has come to realize that, listen, if 1% of what we're putting out is making up 66% of our sales, better we start to invest more in that and see a return. I mean, just recently, a couple of weeks ago, I was in a bookstore. I was looking for something. I was in a bookstore, and they have a manga section, and they have like 1 or 2 comic books on a rack somewhere there. But they have their own manga section with different books and all kind of stuff there. And I saw this schoolboy in uniform, and he was checking out the manga, but he wasn't even paying attention to the comics. So I decided to ask him. I said, I went up to him and I said, excuse me, I just wanted to know, do you prefer manga more than comics? Because I'm not even seeing you looking at the comics. And the answer he gave kind of cemented everything that I have been saying, and kind of, qualifies it. What he said is that with manga, you're actually getting good stories. With comics, you're just getting pieces of paper with print on it. Those were his exact words, and it was like, he literally summed up exactly what he thinks about the whole thing. Nobody's interested in comics anymore because they aren't telling actual stories. They're just telling garbage. The audience that you're supposed to be aiming for is not interested in anything that you have to put out. And the audience that you think that you're aiming for does not exist, and that by that definition can't support anything that you have. So yeah, not shocking that Dark Horse Comics have come out and said this. No, it's something I have been saying for a while. A lot of others have been saying. Manga is dominating because people actually like to read good stories. They don't want the message shoved down their throat, and they don't want to be screamed and lectured at by a bunch of people who think that, you know what, we know better than you about everything, and if you don't like it, you're the problem. So yeah, manga is pretty much keeping Dark Horse Comics afloat right now, and they have decided to dive heavily into it. One can only imagine what this means down the road for Marvel and DC, but considering the fact nobody really cares about their crap anymore, we have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, try to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell and find every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.